la.
Alright, we are out of time, so, oh yeah, so those were both the other who was Japanese flute player, bamboo flute player, jazz band. The following song was Iranibushi by Kaka, which is one of the theme songs of the fandoms. So hopefully get this.
Hello, how are you?
How are you?
Good. Oh my god, it's hot in here. Thank you. Oh no, not that. Sorry about that. We'll get right into the intro. This is lifestyle. Got to get off. Let it go up. Excuse me. Excuse me. I want to be direct. If I'm not please correct. You're standing on my neck. You're standing on my neck. You're standing on my neck. La 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 la. to WMUC Digital Radio, where college radio is good radio. My name is Carly, and you're listening to FemCell Radio. Episodes are streamed weekly on Twitch, posted on YouTube after recording. Oh, I pressed the hand. Welcome back. As we know, my basic definition of a femcel is chronically online, one of my favorite terms to describe the world as of today. One of the most chronically online types of people I know are fangirls, and that brings us to today's episode, where I'm going to be going deep into the history of a fangirl, what makes a fangirl tick the way they are, and you're going to get a first-person perspective from yours truly. Urban Dictionary defines a fangirl as derogatory, in parentheses, like it literally says derogatory, and then goes on to the definition as a female fan obsessed with something or someone to a frightening or sickening degree. So that's a great way to describe anyone, I guess. Today's fangirls get a lot of criticism for their actions and what they love. In some cases, this is valid, but more often than not, it stems from misogyny. Oh no! In order to give a full glimpse of the idea of fangirls, I'm going to be starting from the beginning with Beatlemania. I think this is the beginning of when all fangirl culture really began to spark, and you get that sort of neurotic, screaming woman trope that is fangirls today. Also, that being said, by the term fangirls, it could encompass anyone's gender identity, so keep that in mind, but it's just a general catch-all term, because there are fanboys, but I feel like those are a different topic in themselves, whereas like a boy could be a fangirl, and a girl could be a fanboy, and them can be whatever they want, but it's just like, in terms of like someone, it's like just a catch-all term to describe like the neurotic, screaming behavior of artists, of like people to artists. Okay. So that being said, to start off with Beatlemania, we're going to be starting off with one of my favorite Beatles songs. This is the first Beatles song that I heard that I was like, ooh, these guys are kind of good. And I was the first ever person to think that the Beatles were good. So that just says a lot. Anyways, here is Eleanor Rigby. Oh my god. That was so bad. Me, if I could transition better.
Eleanor Rigby wakes up and rides in a church where a wedding has been. Lives in a dream, waits at the window, wearing the face that she keeps in a jar by the door. Who is it for? All the lonely people. Where do they all come from?
Hi team. I'm so happy to have you all here today. I always feel so awkward when talking. Can you get that? Can you get that vibe?
Look at him working, donning his socks in the night when there's nobody there. What does he care? All the lonely people. Where do they all come from? All the lonely people. Where do they all belong? Ah, look at all the lonely people. Ah, look at all the lonely people. Eleanor Rigby died in the church and was buried along with
Okay, I just just need to get set up on my side making sense, and I can be enjoying life, you know?
No one was saved, all alone. Where do they all come from?
I wanna figure out
All alone. Do
so many barricades were being like broken down by these like girls screaming and being excited to see the Beatles, that the Beatles themselves had to stop touring because it was just too wild and too crazy. And this is shown in like one of my favorite photos from like music history, is a bunch of like women lined up on a barricade and the police like holding it back, and they're like leaning over it, like screaming and yelling and like being just like a fangirl and being like crazy screaming, right? And it's just like, it's just very, in my mind, I'm like, those are my ancestors. It's so powerful. Respects tradition. And then, because I feel like obviously now, like, Beatles are known for being like one of the greatest bands of all history and like blah blah blah, because like, yeah, they are. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you One Direction's better, but we're gonna be playing some One Direction next. And it's interesting looking at that and like seeing like older generations growing up with Beatlemania and then having these sort of disliking of modern fangirls, whether or not it's from like older demographics who saw that or people now. And a lot of this is stemmed from misogyny, which is interesting because men being the root of all issues, that's crazy. And so as I was doing research for this, I found this one article that it said something very interesting to me. It was that fangirls are disliked because they're the opposite to the idea of the like ideal of the feminine form, which is like purity. And so seeing these girls scream, cry, like throw up, run around, and exhibiting erratic and hysteric behavior is like not something men traditionally like, so they don't like the ideas of fangirls, which is very interesting. And I feel like we get a lot of double standards with this, because if you look at like any man really and their hobbies, most likely it's gonna be like a sports. And like, what is the difference between a man screaming at a sports team on the TV or in a person at a game and like getting all up in arms about it, where a fangirl is doing the same thing, screaming about Harry Styles at like a concert? So like, bit of a double standard there. And honestly, if you would have asked me, screaming about like a real life person and like live music is so much better than like yelling about a football game on TV. Like, I feel like it just there's a little bit more value to it. But I also grew up in the absolute trenches of Tumblr and One Direction fandom culture, so my opinion should not be respected ever. So going up for that, One Direction I'm going to play a bunch of songs by them next, and I just think it's very interesting seeing how they're, like, they are really the first example of a major fandom, like, taking over, I mean, like, Twitter specifically, because I guess Twitter and Tumblr is a bit more, like, widespread on the internet, but, like, Twitter specifically, it was like always something trending about it. Even now, I'll go on Twitter and every once in a while there'll always be, I would say probably once a week, something about One Direction specifically, not just like Harry Styles because he's like the biggest one right now, and then like Louis just released an album, but it's just like crazy how much of like a chokehold these girls are able to have on media. Because I mean, I guess if you look at like screen time compared to like, and those people's interests compared to what's trending, it's gonna make a correlation. But what, like, I don't know, I just feel like it's just an interesting topic that like we don't really acknowledge, of like how powerful like this group of people online can be from creating like their own culture in terms of like things to talk about, or like memes, or like things to bond about. Whereas like now, like today, so many of my friends, one of the first things we bonded about was like hyper obsessing about certain like celebrities, whether it was Taylor Swift or One Direction or anyone like new. And I feel like the fangirl culture has like really transcended this idea of like music and gone even into more of like movies and like Twitch, YouTubers, and any really like content creators, where like if you like, this is gonna be a bold claim, but I feel like if you have a screen time of like, say like if your like Twitter and Instagram has a screen time of more than like 2 hours a day, you most likely are a stan of something, meaning like you are a super fan of them, and hence like you're a fangirl. And I just feel like that's so unique that people will like develop these relationships with people online, and whether or not it's good or bad is up for debate, which I'm going to talk about a little bit next. But to get some One Direction into the mix, which is a tragedy I didn't. I don't know. I think it would be this. I think it would be 4 because this song as an opener is insane, literally insane. No, I will literally never listen to the song History because I will cry. I will say, not history. If I could fly, I can't listen to that song, or else I will actually start convulsing. Like it. I remember the last time I heard it. It was like I still cried. I don't remember exactly what it was about that song. There was something around like them dropping when they like were gonna take their hiatus, and I just like something about that song literally made me like want to cry. I remember because I didn't think about it at all, and then they were on their hiatus, upset, whatever. I didn't think about it, and then randomly I went on shuffle one day, and I was driving on the highway, and I absolutely started like sobbing because I just like couldn't like function listening to that song because it was so sad. Because I was like, I love One Direction so much. Hi Maddie, hi Jonathan. What are you making for dinner? I hope it's something good. This is a little fangirl episode. It's cute. My hair's being weird. That was Clouds by One Direction. I want to play more One Direction songs, but I have some other like funky things that are just so fun that I want to play. But in order to get these songs, I want to talk about the issues with fangirls, and the biggest of that being parasocialism. I don't know if that's the right word, but being parasocial is essentially when you feel like you know the person in real life and feel like you think that you're like actually dating them when you've literally never met them, which I am very, very at fault for this and do this often, but I will say I'm not the worst of it. There are some people who it's like it gets to like the stalkerish level that it's like actually insane and becomes very dangerous and uncomfortable for like the star, because a lot of times like that's why people don't like having their like personal life seen in public and like stuff like that, and that's kind of like when like there's one thing of like your celebrity crush turning into the like quote unquote internet boyfriend, which I'll get into in a second, but it's another thing of being an actual stalker and like feeling just being unhealthily obsessed with something. Like there's an unhealthy obsession, and then there's like your clinically insane obsession, and like it's parasocial. People like get to a point where it's like you need to like seek out professional help. That's not good. You shouldn't do that. But then going into internet boyfriends, which is a term I saw when researching this topic, and it basically is like when your celebrity crush turns into a quote-unquote internet boyfriend is when someone turns to men in like media because men in real life have failed them. So they look at, say, like Timothy Chalamet or Andrew Garfield as like the ideal version of a man, which is like cute and whatever if it's like they're lock screen and you just like looking at fan cams or whatever. But then obviously, as I said before, parasocial people can be scary. But that being said, there is also a lot of good things fangirls can do, especially for the like community, for the artist overall, which, like, as I said before, a lot of like the record sales and stuff like that is very good. But then also a bunch of, it started as like a BTS fandom thing, but then a bunch of people also did it where they would buy tickets to Trump's rally for Tulsa, Florida, and then he thought 1 million people were going, and then no one showed up, so then it was kind of like a good frick you to that dude. And then another good thing was bringing awareness to the Free Britney campaign and getting her out of her conservatorship, which like really did start online as like a sort of a trend to like help her get the resources she needs. And then also they just give a lot of great outlets to creativity. You can see this through like learning like Photoshop and like fan fiction, whereas like I just found today my fan fiction from when I was a One Direction fan. So I haven't read it yet, and I honestly don't think I will because I'm scared of it. It's not like bad, it's just like I was in 6th grade, so the writing is not going to be good, and it's going to be so cringe. And then in terms of like editing, like I had a One Direction Photoshop account, and like I use my Photoshop skills I like developed doing that so often, which is a crazy thing to learn that like I am good at something because of being a part of a fandom, which is like crazy. And then another example of a good thing is when there's a white supremacist hashtag trending and a bunch of BTS fans, I think because BTS is like the most current, like biggest fandom happening right now, and they flooded it with fan cams, so you couldn't like see anything that the white supremacists were trying to promote on Twitter, which is like great because like not giving them a platform and like kind of standing back. And it was great that the community was able to come together and sort of protect anyone who isn't white, really, which is great. And then going into fan cams, which is one of my favorite things literally ever, which is such a weird thing to love. And these are video edits for like a person or a topic, usually with like music playing. There's often a lot of like songs that are overused or like used a lot for these, which are things that I'm going to be playing next. And they're sometimes they'll like you cross over the things. Like a classic one that I thought of today is like Elsa from Frozen and then Jack Frost from like whatever animated movie he was in, and then it's like them like in love, and it's like funny because it's like photoshopped photos. And these are often made, or like a fan cam is always made with love and like in support of like either the person or the ship or the, which is like coupling between people, or it's really anything. And it's just people like send them between their like communities, and people just like look at them, have a great time. I will say I am guilty of having a fan cam I like and staring at it for hours on end to an unhealthy extent. There really is like an art to it in making it flow well and having the right transitions and like beats to the song, and like you can tell when people are like good at it and when they're not. And it's like it's an art that I never learned, which I always have wanted to be able to like video edit like that and be good at fan cams, but my expertise stopped really at Photoshop, which is sad. But on my Femcell Radio Instagram account, I'm gonna post a little bit of fan cams later this evening, just because I love them. And it's like I wish I could find the ones that I watched in middle school, because like, oh my god, I found one Harry Styles one that I remember watching, but like they're so good. Like they're so good. I don't know if this is just like a me thing that just gets so invested in fan cams and finding as many good fan cams as I can, but like, oh my god, there's something beautiful about it. And it also can be like funny too. Oh, it's just so good. So we are going to be playing 4 songs that are like big fan cam songs in my mind, and that is going to be I Only Want to Be With You by Tommy February 6th, Hug Me by Pharrell Williams, which I do not like Pharrell Williams. I'm going to say this here now. I'm going to let everyone know I do not like Pharrell Williams. But this song, this song, let me tell you, it's so good. I only listen to it on fan cams, like, really, but, like, for whatever reason, I just haven't listened to it all today, and I'll be like, woo, you'll just hear it, and you'll go, okay, no, I get it. And then Rap by Penelope Scott, and Penelope Scott is, like, all over the fan cam scene. All of her music is made with, like, fan cams. She literally, like the Dream SMP is obsessed with her, which, like, fair enough. The song I'm gonna play by her is so good. And it, like, it's just so good. And then Love Fool by the Cardigans, which is just a classic. And then, yeah. Alright, and I'll probably go into some other things, but here we are with I Only Want to Be With You. I love this song. So true. So nervous in the meeting having next to me. I can't think of anyone in a fan cam besides Weston Gore because I am deranged and parasocial, as we have already established. And it's like just I can just visualize the frames moving and everything. I don't know if this is me, but I'm just obsessed with it. Oh, wait, let me go through chat. All my relationships I have parasocial relationships with, like, people I see in the dining hall. There's this one specific person where I would love to be their friend. I'd love to give them a little kiss on the lips. Never spoke to him once. But maybe one day. The One Day song where they're all walking down the pier is from the You and I music video. That's the most nostalgic one. Oh, you figured it out. I'm not a UNI fan, I gotta say. Most of the One Direction singles, I like I'm not a truther of them. Solely just because I am super underground. No. Are celebrities the new age gods? Lucy, can you say that again? I don't know what that means. I'd never watched Weston Corey's listening to Be by Groovy Dominoes 52. You see, there's worms in my brain and they're always winning. I never like watched Super Kulak. Well, you see, Maddie, I don't drink anymore, so I couldn't do that. So there's that. Thank you, John. No, I have a funny joke I can make right now, but I can't make it publicly. Anyways, Super Hulak. I was never in the fandom, specifically like watching the content, but like I was in the fandom on Tumblr, and I like followed, like I knew everything in it, and I got the inside jokes. I just never watched any part of any of it, which is weird, I guess. Okay, this is gonna be for Belle. I'm so excited. We gotta fix this.
Why do you insist on trying to give me away?
happen. Hug me, bring it in. This is in the Despicable Me movie. Isn't that fun? I've never seen. I only saw the first one. We set out past the curfew. My comfort group will hurt you. Who's taking trouble with you? Your haunted hair like mine. Oh man, I have a cramp from that. Bring it in. Whoa! I added the song because Wes and Corey made a Gumball fan cam with this song, and he tagged Ted Nivison. I love them both. I'm gonna post it on my Instagram story later. I'm out of breath. It's so hot in here. What is this link? Oh, I wanna watch it. Is this gonna be like scary? That's really good. No, that's really good. I loved you, I loved you, I loved you, it's true. I wanted to be you and do what you do. Oh my god, I'm looking at the comments. They're silly. I don't know who that is, I'm sorry, but I still like the fan cam. The editing is good. I can make a fan cam like that, I think. I can do the transition, so not that I can't, I just don't know how. I want to learn. Sorry, I had a burp. Hi guys, I think I like pulled something dancing. That's really embarrassing. This song is cute. Also, I saw something on Twitter today. Apparently, and could not be true at all, but there's a chance the singer of the song, Penelope Scott, dated Elon Musk. Like, and then you listen to this, I'm like, the second, who do you think the best streamer on Twitch is? If he's the second best. No way. You're too kind. I'm blushing. I'm a big Hoover gal. I feel really happy about that. My brain doesn't work. No, God, my stomach hurts. I'm scared. I loved you, it's true. Hug me, bring it in. I want to play this song again. I literally listened to that song maybe 8 times today. And it's just because of that one fan cam. Sorry. Take me to the moon. I'm down with that. My thing is though, like, I would love to play twice. I just like have other things I want to play and chat about. So like, it's a hard thing. That's why I want a 2-hour slot. I think I would feel less anxious if I had a 2-hour slot. But this is my first semester doing this, so like, valid. That's why I'm not given one. And next semester I'm gonna be not here in this country, so yeah. I just love talking and hearing myself talk. Yeah, no, definitely. I think 2 hours would be, like, it would be hard to plan it out in terms of, like, the weekend, the, like, weeks where I'm, like, not, like, have a million things to talk about. Whereas, like, yeah. No, yeah. No, yeah, also, this is my literal scariest thing ever, is that, like, I have to log out of my Spinatron, which is, like, what we use to track the playlist. I have to log out of my Spotify. I have to, like, close this up, and then I have to, like, leave here at a certain time because there's someone coming in, and I just have so much things going on, and I get so scared. Because I feel like I'm annoying them every time I'm in here, and they're, like, mad at me, and I can tell. I don't know what WLR is. That is. I get confused with acronyms. That's what also, I wish there's I don't know, I know emotes, but I don't know that, like, have, like, the brain capacity to remember them. So, like, I never type them in chat, so I feel bad when I watch streams. So be like, no, like, Hoover and Oxel, your joke was funny, I just don't know how to spell Nicole, blah, blah. No, I would play Sky 15 times in a row, and it would be the best radio show ever. And everyone would love it, and I would get sturdy all over the place, and everyone would go, oh my god, she's so sturdy. And it would be awesome. But here I am talking about feminism. Well, not really this episode, but like, okay. I like, there. I mean, like, my thing is, like, Twitch is a hard thing to, now I can't, like, talk because there's 13 seconds left of the song, you know? So I just need to mentally prepare. Alrighty, so that was Love Fool by the Cardigans. I love that song. I used to think that song was written by Justin Bieber because he made a cover of it, and I didn't realize that you could make covers of songs and put them on your album when I was like 12. But anyways, so I'm gonna just do a few final closing out thoughts and then play music to fill the rest of my time. Basically, I just want to just like address how fandoms across the internet can be very different based off of whether they're big, whether they're small, whether they're like good or bad, because there is a very like obviously not all fans of something can be categorized as something, but there is some fandoms that like have a worse fan base than others in terms of how they treat their creator and other creators around it. And I think like examples of like big fan bases would be like One Direction, Taylor Swift, BTS, or the and then when we get into more of like say like video game and like Twitch stuff, it becomes more niche in terms of mainstream media, I want to say. But as of recent, a lot of like say specifically like Dream and like the Dream SMP has gotten a lot more like traction from mainstream media, even though I still would consider it like not so much something everyone talks about. Like when I would like I'll like text my friends about like George Not Found saying something, and they're like, Carly, we have no idea what you're saying, and I'm like, oh, okay. But then on top of that, I feel like that's very interesting in regards to going into like the smaller fandoms of things on Twitch. Like a lot of the creators that I watch have a range between like 400 to 800 viewers on average, which like in my mind I do think that is a lot of like people to like see, and like the chat moves pretty fast. Like it is like they're obviously, this is their job, like they're making a living, and that is a lot of people. But if you look at that and then compare it to like, I don't know, like someone's like, I guess because music isn't a good comparison because people can listen to music more than once, but like I feel like the likes on a tweet that Harry Styles gets, like it's not the same. I don't know, I feel like that my thoughts aren't coherent enough to really explain what I'm trying to discuss, but yeah, and basically that. And then like a lot of, it's like interesting growing up in this culture because a lot of like the boundaries that are set now with creators in regards to like calling people out on being parasocial and like blah blah blah, that like were not set when I was a kid. So like it would, like unhealthy relationships with creators would form a lot easier and would be supported by people around me, rather than people being like, okay, like chill out, if your favorite creator gets a girlfriend, you don't need to like scream and cry about it, he doesn't know you. Which is good to like, it's good to keep the kids in check, you know. And then overall, I just love this topic because it is something I feel very deeply about, and just the concept of fangirls as entities in themselves and what they aid to the online community. And a femcel obviously has this ideology with it because of the chronically online persona and like the hyper obsessiveness. I feel like plays into a lot. And then also like I feel like with that, a lot of people I know who have like these very big interests in certain creators and like are online 24/7 are like mentally ill, which is like an interesting thing as to why like these communities attract so many people, whether or not it's the fact that like just so many people nowadays have like forms of mental illness, or it's just the fact that I've always been able to find the corners of the internet where it's the most prevalent, one of the two. But it's like, because I don't have a mental illness, so I'm like, why is, I don't know, it's always just a question in my mind. I don't even know if there's something I should say on the radio. That might have been oversharing. Anyways, so we're going to be playing another song that is in fan cams that I love. It is by Christian Lee. I followed this man since Vine. I used to have a parasocial relationship with him, but now I'm healed, and he's just an amazing artist. He's very funny too, and he was like used to be in like a friend group that was like really popular online, but he was like kind of a side character in it, which is like interesting considering he was like a main character in terms of like people I follow. But anyways, here is You by Christian Lee, and then if I have time, I'm going to be playing Lucky by Lucky Twice. Damn. Okay, because this is what I was gonna say about Twitch. I do spend a good, I need it, hold on, let me. brain broke. I love that song. His voice is so pretty. It's so pretty. And then I'm gonna finish. You know? Thank you, Mark. It's a little pretty pattern. I don't know. I guess I have to do more. So that's also like I like to watch people, but then like if I'll like get stressed out with like school or something like that, or I just like am not in the mood to watch, and then when I go to watch the next stream, I don't understand any of the jokes, and it stresses me out more. And like this is just an issue that like doesn't matter, but it's really trying me. And then I was talking to someone and they were like, and I was like, yeah, I was like explaining like why this like stresses me out, and they were like, oh, like why don't you just like relax? And I was like, oh. No, I did not explain my thought process on that correctly. Anyways, no, I was like, just relax. No, my favorite is Jake-S. Like, look at this. Oh, I can spell it. Also, if I spell them wrong, I will literally leave the chat. No, I have to log in to comment in my own chat. This is so rude. Whatever, I'm not doing it. Someone else type in Jake-S. Capital J, capital S. It goes, I'll reenact it. It's him, he goes. Jake Johnson, he went to this current university that I go to, he graduated from. Also, I don't have any eyebrows. But it's crazy, because I saw the like post, I mean my friend was telling me about it, and then I saw the post and I was like, no, like capital J, Jake, and then S. Also, if like the person behind me doesn't come in right on time, I want to stay for longer. But then when I do that, they like I feel like one day they will punch me in the face, and I will deserve it. It did not work. Maybe I don't have emotes turned on because I looked at it before this started, but I don't know. I'll work on that. I'll figure it out. Go back to uni. Gotta learn to do some. Oopsie, it's going some direction. Do some classes. That's what I feel like. I'm so used to going to school all the time that like when I'm out of school, I'm gonna want to continue taking like classes just to learn and have fun. And maybe not directly, but like at some point. Godspeed. Okay. I'm gonna turn off my. Okay. I am gonna leave. Thank you all for coming to my little chat. I'll see you all next week.